This is the human heart. Central to our physical body, our survival, revered by poets throughout history as the emotional center of our being. The place we instinctively touch when asked to point to ourselves. And now, what we have known intuitively is being understood scientifically. Researchers are unlocking a new science of the heart that could change everything we know about health and our interconnected nature. Coherence is a state of balance between heart, mind, and emotions, creating a favorable cascade of neural, hormonal, and biochemical events that benefit the entire body. But this phenomenon not only benefits us personally, it affects everything around us, emitting an electromagnetic field that can be measured up to 3 feet outside of the body. When you are in coherence, your heart resonates at the same frequency as the Earth's magnetic field. This frequency positively affects everything around you. When a group of people are in coherence together, this effect is magnified. Could communities synchronized in coherence lower violence, accelerate cooperation, and global harmony? This is the purpose of the Global Coherence Pulse. If we can measure the impact of thousands of people in coherence at the same time, it could lead to a breakthrough in understanding the full potential of the human heart. All you need to participate is your presence and your heart. To take it to the next level, join the research study by downloading the app and getting an HRV monitor to measure your personal coherence. The world needs it more than ever before. Each human heart is unique and magnificent by itself. But imagine what could be possible when we unify.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Global Coherence Pulse. It's June 2023. Wow, we've been doing these pulses now for over 3 years. And here we are in another cycle again with World Unity Week is starting today. And every year during World Unity Week, we do a pulse on the opening day of World Unity Week, which is happening today. And we do a pulse every single day of World Unity Week, which we will be doing. And this one is just the start. So thank you for joining us today. I always feel like I want to extend a thank you for taking time out of your day to come together and to practice and explore and pulse the planet with some love and care, with our heart-centered coherence. It really does make a difference for ourselves personally when we can relax and tune in and open our hearts up and feel the natural state of coherence inside of us. And together, we can really send a good wave of love and energy out into the field. So that's what we're going to do today. If you have the Global Coherence Pulse app, I really encourage you to download it if you don't have it. And perhaps during this week-long World Unity Week, we can actually use the sensor in the camera and you can test your own coherence and we can start to see our collective coherence. So if you have the app, open it up and join the global group. And if you haven't downloaded it before now, you can go to the App Store or the Google Store and you can download it. And it's so easy now. They've put some wonderful new features. So we're going to be doing some things to help us learn how to use this tool, because when we can support the science of coherence, when we could make the power of the human heart more visible to more people and the impact it has, the more we can spread this coherence on the planet. So lastly, let's start then this Global Coherence Pulse with a quick coherence practice, and then we'll jump into our pulse for today. So a quick coherence practice only requires 3 things. And we start with heart-centered focus. I always like to feel the bottom of my feet first. It kind of takes me out of my head and it gets me connected to the earth. So that whatever I accomplish today, whatever I experience today, whatever I contribute today, I do for myself and I do for this beautiful planet that we find ourselves living on. And so now bring your attention into the center of your chest to your heart. And let that be where your focus relaxes throughout this session today. And the second part of the quick coherence practice is heart-centered breathing. So imagine you're breathing in and out of this one point in the center of your heart. Breathing in life from the fields, the infinite fields, from the space around you. And breathing out anything that you want to let go of and release. Heart-centered breathing. And the last is heart-centered feeling. And so evoke a feeling of joy or love or peace or whatever it is that just naturally rises into your heart right now that elevates your experience. You can evoke a memory or a feeling that you're having right now. And with your attention on your heart, with your attention on your breathing, radiate that feeling throughout your body, out into the space around you, and into the field that we share today, being on this call, or listening to the recording right now. We're all together. It's all happening right here. Great. So from this place, from this relaxing place, let's enter into our pulse for today. And I'm super excited. We have some friends, new friends, Andi and Jonathan Goldman, who I'd love to bring on screen. They're so cute, so wonderful to have their energy in here. You guys need to turn on your camera and we'll bring you on camera. You know, it's so interesting. Oftentimes when we decide who's going to do a pulse at different times, you know, I kind of threw it out to you guys and you said, let's do June. And the fact that we're doing this today, at the beginning of World Unity Week, the beginning of 99 days of peace through unity, to have the focus be on our own self-generated sound as a way for us to begin to heal and to release and to open and to generate more love on the planet seems so perfect, because during World Unity Week, we'll be opening up to 7 core frequencies. And if we can do that from this deep place of our own sacred sound, I think that we'll really be able to generate a beautiful field. So welcome, Andi and Jonathan Goldman, beautiful souls that I feel like you guys are like the mom and pop of sound healing, right? You know, you've been exploring this and making it visible for your whole life. And you really opened up a field that's now blossoming into an incredible garden. You know, using sound as a tool for healing and upliftment is spreading everywhere. And I just want to take a moment for all of us to say thank you to the two of you for your pioneering spirit in this field of sacred sound, and allow yourself to just feel the blessings that come when you know that what you've been seeding and what you've been holding and what you've been sharing really has a life of its own now. So I want to welcome to our Pulse today, Andi and Jonathan Goldman, and I'm going to leave you in their hands. And they're going to share with us. They're going to take us on a meditation journey, and they're going to support us in our cultivation practice today. I love you both. Thank you for joining us.
Oh, Teresa, and thank you, and we love you.
What a blessing it is to be with you and with everyone now and forever who will tune into this. We give thanks so much for being part of the Global Coherence Pulse, and particularly, if you like, at the beginning of this World Unity Week. What a blessing.
We are honored. We are honored. Teresa, thank you for inviting us. And as Jonathan was just saying, the beginning of World Unity Week, the Global Coherence Pulse, the powerful, powerful energy of the heart that is happening really as we speak. So many blessings and thank you. And of course, as you mentioned, Teresa, our main focus is utilizing sound for personal and planetary healing. And today we're going to be bringing the element of intentionalized sound to the global pulse. We're going to talk about sound, why it's so powerful as a healing tool. We're going to be guiding you in a global guided sound meditation. We're going to be talking about conscious humming. And we are going to be obviously talking about heart-brain coherence. However, we're going to begin with something that Jonathan and I came up with. We are calling it the 4 pillars of sound healing. 4 elements that we feel are very important in working with sound. And the very first one is everything is vibration.
Everything is vibration. And this is something that, if you like, our ancient mystics have told us about. In the beginning was the Word, and the Lord said, let there be light, sound preceding light. And all these different traditions, from the Hindu Vedic tradition onward, you have this commonality of understanding that life, the universe, and everything was created solely through the power of vibration. And then you have now a quantum physicist talking about, for example, superstring theory and the fact that every one of the different multiverses is vibrating at a slightly different rate. And so science and spirituality, mysticism and medicine, if you like, are blending together. And at the center of it all is the power of sound. Everything is in a state of vibration.
And our second pillar is intent is powerful. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to be bringing intentionalized sound. And when we add intention and intentions from our heart, those beautiful positive vibrations of appreciation, when we bring forth intention, that amplifies the intent, the sound amplifies the intention. And 40 years ago,
More.
more than 40 years ago, we've been doing that. Well, Jonathan's been doing it for 40. I've just been 30 years. But anyway, over 40 years ago, Jonathan created a formula that we feel is just so important, even more so today. And that is frequency, the sound, frequency plus intent. Our intention that is carried on that frequency equals healing. So frequency plus intent equals healing.
And we just want to suggest that what this means is that the sound, the vibration, oftentimes is our voice, but it can be music, it can be anything. Basically, you can literally encode consciousness onto the sound as the carrier wave, and people will receive it, what you project and what are you expecting to receive. And there's so much work these days. When this first came out, a lot of the scientists and medical people were looking at me rather strangely when I would suggest, have you ever contemplated the importance of intention? But now you have beloved people like Bruce Lipton, I'm sure you know of, Or, you know, I mean, Lynn McTaggart is doing her intention experiments. All these different people are talking about the importance of intentionality. And we just give thanks because it makes it so much easier. And I know that obviously when you're working with heart-brain coherence, a lot of that is our consciousness.
Intentions.
So we give thanks. So that is the second thing. Intent is powerful when we make sound, even when we're working with a conversational voice.
Yes, yes. And now our third pillar of sound is we are all unique vibratory beings. And so the ways in which sound affects person A may be completely different from how it affects person B. So always, knowing that the way in which you are experiencing sound is absolutely perfect for you. Yeah.
Bottom line is that it's really, really important as we move more and more into awareness that sound can heal and transform and shift and change, is the fact that one size does not fit all, as we are all unique vibratory beings. So one sound is not going to work the same way for everybody. It's number one. And number two, depending upon the time, the place, and the need of the individual, different sounds might be appropriate. If you're trying to relax, you're going to use different types of music than if you're going to be going on an aerobics machine. I create music for deep relaxation. It's very, very powerful. I tried it once when I was on a treadmill, and literally my body entrained to the phenomena, the vibrations of this music, and it was not quite right for being on an exercise machine. I fell off of it. So once again, different types of music, different types of sound for different situations. Be aware of that, and be aware that things affect us all differently. This empowers us to realize that if something works for us, great. If it doesn't, we need to honor ourselves and work with that one.
Beautiful. Honor ourselves. And so now we're going to go to our fourth pillar, which is actually my favorite pillar, and it is silence is golden. And I want to talk about the importance of silence after we have created our own sounds, after there has been sound coming into our world. Being in silence, that is when the shifts and the changes actually occur. And I always like to say, when we are in silence, it gives us an opportunity to really tune in to the divine, tune in to spirit, and begin to listen to our own inner wisdom.
And in fact, the word listen and the word silent are anagrams. They're composed of the same letters, and we like to say that if you are silent, you can listen within. It's something very, very important, that as people become enamored by the power of sound, which it is extraordinary. It can literally rearrange molecular structure. Here's a quote from the New York Times, which is that sound, shaped into dazzling tool, can make, break, or rearrange molecular structure. It's powerful, but we need to be in that state of silence, because silence is the yin to the yang of sound. Silence is the yin to the yang of sound. So it's really the place. And when we're going to be working with the sound today, we're going to be in an aspect of silence so we can receive and assimilate the sounds that have been created.
Beautiful. So those are our four pillars, and of course, the more information we're going to share, they're going to actually our information is going to be connected in some capacity to all four of those. Everything is vibration. Intent is powerful. We are all unique, vibratory beings. Silence is golden.
Indeed. There are two basic ways that sound affects us. We just want to share these we're giving you a lot of information in little sound bites so you can sort of assimilate this and understand it. And there are two basic ways that sound affects us: psychoacoustics and vibroacoustics.
So psychoacoustics is actually when we are listening to sounds, and particularly sounds that have been created really for healing. Sounds, when we listen, it goes in through our ears, travels up through our auditory pathways into our brain, and it affects our nervous system. It affects our heart rate, our breathing. So when we are listening to specific sounds, that is called psychoacoustics. The other way that sound affects us is vibroacoustics.
Vibroacoustics. Remember the quote from the New York Times: "Sound shaped in a dazzling tool can make, break, or rearrange molecular structure." So vibroacoustics is when sound goes into us on a physical level, affecting us down to a cellular level, down to a molecular level, down to a DNA level. And this is a very, very important aspect as well. So these two aspects, the sounds that we hear, and this can be through music or even the conversational voice, which is why I mentioned that the conversational voice can be really healing, because if we can encode intentionality onto it, we can achieve just wondrous things.
And talking about vibroacoustics, Jonathan, that brings me to the topic that we want to talk about today, which is what we call conscious humming. Now, conscious humming, we have a whole protocol around conscious humming, but we just want to back up for a minute and tell you why we have chosen to focus on humming. I know, Teresa, thank you. You showed our book in the beginning, the humming effect. And several years ago now, we'd been working with so many different sounds and mantras and exercises. And, one of the things that we sort of came to realize was we want to get sound out to more and more people. And how can we do this? Because sometimes the mantras are complex and the sounds, people are not so sure exactly what that means, sound healing. So we kind of looked at each other and went, hey, let's write a book about
Humming,
humming.
because it's the one sound that people are not judgmental about making. So many people have become so judgmental and aware of, somebody's singing in tune or out of tune. This has actually always been true, but now more than ever. But seems like nobody has any difficulty with humming. Babies hum, the elderly hum.
Oh, we've never heard anyone say, I'm just not a very good hummer.
So we wrote this book called The Humming Effect, and we thought, well, this is the first professionally published book on humming. How are people going to take this subject seriously? We said, we have to make the first chapter peer-reviewed scientific medical data on the physiological benefits of sound. And we now, my friends, present to you just a few of the different physiological benefits.
Yeah. So when we are humming, and of course when we are consciously humming, so many things are happening physiologically. Our heart rate is lowered. Our blood pressure is lowered. Oxytocin is emitted, the hormone oxytocin, and also melatonin is released.
Great for sleep and great for time adjustment.
Yeah.
And one of my favorites, and this is becoming more and more of a really important molecule, nitric oxide. Nitric oxide, which is a vasodilator, which means it literally loosens and widens your circulatory system and allows all sorts of different nutrients, including oxygen, to flow more rapidly. And it's also an antiviral agent, so that if you hum, particularly in your nasal cavity, you can get rid of all sorts of nasty critters that lodge there. So it's really, really beneficial. And also, there are two major ways of working to assist the vagus nerve. One is through nice, deep breathing, and the other is through humming.
So we're kind of giving you an overview, and obviously when we do workshops, etc., we go much more into detail. But I'd like to just talk about a couple of protocols when we are doing conscious humming, because it's very important that we want to keep our lips closed.
Right. You can't really, if you're going, If your lips are
Yeah.
open, it's a great sound, but it's not a hum. And as soon as you open your mouth, you're losing some of the vibratory energy of the sound, which is why the hum is the most powerful vibroacoustic sound that we can make.
Right. So we want to keep our lips closed, and we also want to hum on one tone, on one note. And generally, we like to say, to stay in your comfort zone, which is why we, suggest that one tone. And oftentimes it can be close to the conversational voice. And so we want to do that. And
And
we
the one note, so you don't want to be humming zippity doo dah or whatever, because that's great,
yeah.
but really you want the power of the vibration to be focused on one area and one sort of frequency bandwidth, which is why you hum on one note. So in your comfort zone, was Andy was saying, most of the time when we hum, it's in the conversation, in the realm of the conversational voice, which is as it should be.
Uh, and we are actually going to
Just go
later.
through this in a moment. We're actually
Yeah.
going to be going through doing this with you before we do this guided meditation. But I want to suggest that when we begin everything, we always begin with some really nice, deep, slow breaths.
Yes. Diaphragmatic breathing. I think most people listening are familiar with diaphragmatic breathing, but really it's belly breathing is an easy way to say it, where we're going to inhale, filling our bellies with that in breath, and then as we exhale, that is when the hum comes out. But before we start our humming practice, we always like to do some 2 or 3 conscious breathings, and then that supports the sound that we will then make.
Right. So just to reiterate, if you like, and we begin very first thing, before you make any hums, just check yourself out, tune in, and see how you're doing. And then once again, you want to keep your lips closed. We begin with nice, deep, and relaxed breathing. We hum on one note. You do it in a comfortable pitch. We're going to suggest we do it. You hum 3 to 5 times if you want to try this on your own afterwards. We're just going to do 3 times this time, just so you can feel it. And then be in silence. Even for this brief thing, if we hum for 3 times, we'll be in silence for just a little while so you can feel the energy. Okay? Should we try this, Mentia?
I think so. So, what we're going to do is just guide you through a really brief experience with humming, because later on in our program, in our guided global meditation, there's going to be a portion of that where we will all be sounding together. So, this is just a little prelude, if you will, to
Right.
that. So, shall we, Jonathan?
Okay, so
Yeah. So, what we'll do is give everyone an experience of a series of 3 hums.
right. A lot of people have never even hummed like this before, so
Oh, you should
might
do
be
your little nose
okay.
thing.
So are you ready for just to try this out in case? I'd like you all to just play a game with me for a moment. Let us all hum. You got to have your lips closed, and let's hum, and then pinch your nose. So I'm going to start. Do it with me.
Mm, what
I hope
happens?
you're all laughing with me because you can't hum if your nose is pinched.
And so we always think, if you didn't know that, there's probably a lot more about humming that you will learn about. So,
Okay.
yeah. So I think what we'll do is a series of 3 hums. So I'm going to ask everyone to sit with their back straight and to close your eyes and to take a few nice, deep, diaphragmatic breaths to really begin to feel that sense of your body relaxing and letting go of anything that is not serving you in this moment. And we'll just check ourselves out and begin to take those deep breaths. We'll take a series of 2 or 3. We can release it with a sigh.
now let's take our first breath in for a hum. We're going to do 3 conscious hums.
Breathing in. And allowing that breath to support your sound. We'll take another deep breath in.
And one more.
Breathing in. And now we'll be in silence for just a few moments.
Checking yourself out now. Do you notice any difference? I feel a little lightheaded, a little blissful.
Allowing the sound to make those shifts and changes in this silence. And when you feel ready, open your eyes and come back into this space.
And we did not add any aspect of intentionality onto that sound. We just wanted you to purely be aware of any shifts and changes that may occur to your nervous system, your biofield, anything, just through solely the power of the hum without any intention. Because for our next experience, the guided global hum that we're going to be humming along with, this is one where we add the intention ultimately of projecting our sound for personal and planetary healing. I'd like to just suggest, since this is a global coherence pulse, that you are all obviously aware of heart-brain coherence, and that an aspect of amplifying the field even more is through working with our own self-created sound. This may be why the various prayers and meditations on our planet are vocalized. Whispered, chanted, spoken, sung. It's because sound amplifies the power of our prayers. It's that simple and that profound. So as we do this experience now, the rest of the, if you like, guided meditation is self-explanatory. Andy's going to be guiding you in a meditation that we wrote together, and it's just wonderful. This is accompanied with psychoacoustic frequencies that are really going to help produce a very deep state of consciousness. And then we're going to do probably about 15 hums altogether, but it's I haven't counted them. I don't remember how many it is. And then we'll be in silence after that, projecting the energy to interface with the Gaia matrix, our beloved Mother Earth. So we just ask that all of you partake in this experience not only as a listening experience, but as a co-creative sound experience, because we will be able to feel the resonance, even though we're separated on a level. There is a oneness that occurs, and through this oneness, we can literally interface with the Gaia matrix, making positive shifts and changes on our planet Earth.
So in the guided meditation, when we will guide you through heart-brain coherence, of course. And then we will add the sound and the hums. And when we get to that part, we encourage and invite everyone to, wherever you are, in your home, in your office, wherever, to actually out loud.
Just hum along with us.
And that was why we did this little brief humming experience,
Right.
which I hope was helpful for people too. So, are we ready, Jonathan?
We are ready. So if we may, turn off your mind, relax, and float downstream with us as we do the guided humming sonic experience. Are we ready? Let's roll the film.
The purpose for this meditation is to project a sound encoded with the energies of light and love, and project healing to the Gaia Matrix, our beloved planet Earth. We will first create coherence between our heart and our brain. This effect will further be amplified by the power of the hum that you will be toning along with later, bringing more light and love into your body, mind, and spirit for health and wellness. And now, begin to focus on your breathing. Breathing in and breathing out. Slowly breathing in and out. And as you're breathing in and out, imagine or visualize that you're breathing in and out through your heart. As you're breathing in and out through the area of your heart, remembering that it is love that breathes each breath, and it is love that causes each beat of our heart. Continue breathing slowly, breathing in and out in this manner. And now, I'd like you to call to mind something that has brought you a great deal of appreciation, gratitude, something that you are feeling very good about. This might be an experience with another person. Perhaps it's a beautiful sunset. It may be a beloved pet, a spouse. But it is something that has brought you loving kindness and gratitude and appreciation. And as you're breathing in and out through your heart, feeling this appreciation, feeling this gratitude, you're creating a beautiful coherence between your heart and your brain. And your heart, through this coherence, is expanding, getting larger and larger, and connecting with all the heart and loving energy on our planet in this moment. This is just a wonderful way of creating a very powerful heart activation, and you'll be amplifying this with the sound of the hum. Continue breathing slowly and deeply while feeling appreciation and gratitude, and imagining your breath going in and out through your heart. Now, visualize this energy and begin to sense a radiant light around you that is permeating every cell of your body and resonating your heart chakra. In a moment, we'll begin to gently sound forth with the power of the hum. And as you do this, visualize the planet Earth as a holographic image floating in front of you. Imagine bathing the Earth in a healing field of light and love that you are creating through your sacred sound. Now, let us begin to make the heart sound of the hum, bringing the energy of global harmonization, peace and healing to our beloved planet, Earth. one last time. Now, being in silence, visualizing all the light and love through sound that you have manifested, resonating and bringing to earth and yourself to a deep state of healing. And when you feel ready, open your eyes and know that you have contributed to personal and planetary healing.
Thank you so much, everyone who co-created this experience together. The use of sound as a focusing and amplification tool for meditation, prayer, global coherence is being explored now as we've just done it. We do an event once a year called World Sound Healing Day that some of you may be aware of. It happens on February 14th, and we literally spend the whole day with thousands and thousands of people creating sound and doing heart-brain coherence to create a field of light and love with our planet. And we just bring that to your attention.
And we hope that thank you all too for allowing us to have this opportunity to share our sound with you. And I hope that this guided global meditation was indeed powerful, because we are all connected. You know, the field is holding all of us. We are all energy. Everything is energy. And so there is that unification when we are it's always that unification. And of course, making our sound with that intention amplifies the field with our love and with our light.
And with our sound.
Absolutely.
And we want to invite you all to come visit us at healingsounds.com. It's a wonderful portal into the aspect of using sound for healing. Lots of recordings, books, tools for transformation, lots of information, free downloads and stuff. Because our purpose, if you like, is to help introduce and awaken the use of sound as a healing modality. Andi, are you going to hold up our book?
And I want to just share our book, The Humming Effect, because as you can see, there's lots more information in it than we had time to share today, but it will help to simplify, if you will, help you to bring sound into your world and into the world of your families and your clients and the people that you come in contact with. It's a great tool to reduce stress, for sure, and brings in balance,
right,
momentarily, really.
We're bowing to the glory of Teresa in just a second. Just want to also just suggest one last thing about the hum. There's a book called The Yoga Sutras by a fellow by the name of Patanjali's that was written thousands of years ago. It's the basis of yoga. And Sutra 1.27 says basically the original sound of creation was the humming of prana, pranava. They had to give it a name, so they called it Om. We turn the show back to you.
Well, I was going to give you a little bit more time. We are going to do announcements, and we're announcing the same things you were sharing, and I just put links in the chat for everybody, so we can know about your website and get on your email list, because I am. And on your email list, I get notifications of really amazing information and activities around using sound as a tool for healing and upliftment. So I encourage everybody to do that. And if you haven't participated in the World Sound Day, the World Healing Day, we should do that next year all together. That would be really fun. Yeah, I'm going to add my spotlight for a minute. Let's take this energy that came up in that stillness. I loved the humming. It felt so good, and I'm glad that it went on a little bit, because the more that we hummed and the more that we repeated into, the more I could feel myself becoming the hum. Instead of me doing a hum, all of a sudden I was becoming the hum. I don't, if anybody else had that experience in there where all of a sudden it was no effort to hum, but now the hum was happening. And then the silence that came at the other side of the hum, I felt that thing that we do when we pulse the field with the energy that we generate during the pulse, is that it actually happens all on its own. Again, an effortless experience of the expansion of the sound that we had generated with the intention out into the field. And so I wonder if we can just maybe all together, just one more time, just generate maybe 3 hums. Make 3 hums to yourself, just like we did. And then let's, in that silence that follows those 3 hums, let's be pulsing the planet intentionally with the energy that you feel like the planet needs right now, that you could uniquely provide, because your hum has a signature that is all yours. And so in those 3 hums, draw together the frequency that you want to share with the planet today. At the beginning of World Unity Week, 99 days of peace through unity, you uniquely pulsing the field. So let's do that. Let's do 3 hums together.
Thank you, Teresa. Beautiful.
Yeah. So let's do it. Let's see that no molecule is left untouched by this frequency of sound and presence that you're sending into this. Wow, I really felt the layers of everyone sending in their uniqueness. You know, sometimes we're sending in an intention, and just then, as I was feeling my intention going out, all of a sudden I felt all of the intentions in the unique vibration of all of you, and I'm seeing all your beautiful faces up there. So sweet to see you. And I could feel that I was being blessed by the field of our collective sound and intentions just then. Really lovely. So maybe you guys might just want to share for just a minute while Kaylin's pulling up some things for our announcements, and then we're going to stay on the line after the announcements, and we're going to hang out a little bit with Andi and Jonathan. And if you have questions that you'd like to ask them, we have some time for that. Aren't they fun? So they're worth hanging out with a little bit, and it would be fun to hear from some of you. So I just want to ask you guys, so this is a really important and perfect practice that we can do without really any effort at all. And can you say something about how we might incorporate this into our daily life? You know, when do you use it? How do you use it? Yeah.
Well, thank you, Teresa, and thank you for those last 3 hums, because I too could feel the layers and the coherence of our positive love going out to the planet. So thank you for that. But back to the humming practice. Jonathan and I actually do a humming practice every day, and what we normally like to do is spend about 5 minutes humming, and then 5 minutes of being in silence. You know, and we sort of take a 15-minute, if you will, chunk of
bubble, so to
time.
speak,
Yeah. And then we do our meditation, also very much connected to once we've made the humming sounds. And Jonathan, you want to say something?
I just want to suggest, though, that the hum is such a all-encompassing if you like, avenue into the world of vibration that you can use it with the whatever your intention is. You can use the same sound for generating love, compassion. You can use it as a healing sound. If you have a headache, for example, you can hum and basically project the sound into your head with whatever light or manifestation you do. Or if you've got something in your chest or your belly, you can use the hum. You can change the resonance of the hum simply through your consciousnness. It is that cool. I have been working with sound for over 40 years and worked with so many different mantras, harmonics, overtones, intervals, etc. And we are back to using the hum as being that all-encompassing sound that basically can be utilized for whatever purpose you have it. So we want to suggest to everyone also, as you mentioned a little bit, the hum is cumulative. The more you do it, the more powerful it will be. And it works with anything. It works with whether you're doing heart-brain coherence, global pulsing, Reiki, X, Y, or Z. It can be utilized as a tool, and it simply is an amplification and focusing tool using your own sonic vibration. It's that simple, not powerful.
And one of the ways, Teresa, that I love to use humming is, as my background is as a psychotherapist, it is a beautiful thing to teach people that they have the power within themselves to shift and change their energy. And if they are, in a very stressed out place, which, our current culture has, I'm sorry to say, but a lot of people we are stressed. But something as simple as taking even 30 seconds, a minute, and actually setting that intention of shifting your energy and humming, and maybe you don't even set that intention, but you just start humming, you can reduce the levels of stress just almost, I want to say instantaneously, because
Right.
it can happen that quickly. But we get to be our own therapist
Yeah,
by utilizing the hum, which I love.
it's wonderful if you have white coat syndrome, which is like, my goodness gracious, you go to the doctor and they're going to put a cuff on you and your blood pressure spikes up. Do a few hums in conjunction, particularly with the, various, the heart lock or whatever you want to use, and it just works at pharmaceutical levels. It's amazing. I'm a testament to it, so it's real and it works.
It
Well,
does.
I love that we have such simple tools, really. We started with the simple heart lock-in. Really, I just put my attention on my heart. I breathe consciously through my heart for a few breaths, and I evoke a positive feeling or intention. And now we can add this humming, our own sound to help us regulate and allow for our natural state of coherence to actually emerge and then feed the field with it. So it's supposed to be simple, and it needs to be things that we can, in the moment when we need them, we can just stop and take that moment, because what we feed the field matters. What we feed the field matters, and we have an opportunity and a responsibility to choose coherence in the face of moments when we're feeling out of coherence. We can choose it and we can practice it. So let's do a few announcements, you guys, and then we'll come back and we'll see if there's anybody that wants to share their experience of humming with you. We can open up a few lines and we can have you answer any questions. But Kaylin, maybe we can bring up the Healing Sounds website so that they can see the website and where they can go, if you're ready for that. I kind of threw a bunch of stuff at Kaylin right at the end to do, so it was like, oh, that was a miracle. So there's the Healing Sounds website. Enter your email right at the very top. It's super easy to do. And Jonathan is constantly sending wonderful emails out to everyone. Do you guys want to say something about the site?
It's an award-winning site, and there's just lots of great things on there. And we just suggest that if you're interested in sound, that you will have just a jolly good time. You can get lost in the, if you avenue of sound healing, but what a great place to get lost in.
Oh, and there's lots and lots of tools, sound healing tools that you can work with. And also there's a lot of free downloads and just a ton of information. And we would be delighted for anyone who's listening to visit our website.
So do come
Great.
visit, and thank you so much.
Yeah.
And I put the direct link to the book, which is right on your page. So, right at the top, you can see it, but you could add it to your cart right there. You can get the book. I purchased it. I'm excited to get it. I haven't gotten it in the mail yet, but I think it's one of those tools that we could all be using, and we could be sharing it with our children. I could share it with my teenage, nephew when he's feeling anxiety about being out in public. After COVID, so many people got challenged with different kinds of anxieties. I can imagine sitting down with my brother when he's feeling stressed after a day of work and just kind of feeling the challenges to just sit down and have a home together. And on one of the projects I work on, we start all of our meetings with a toning or a sounding so that we can bring our sound in. So I love that you guys are bringing us these simple tools. Thank you so much. And everybody, the links are in the chat for that. And then, of course, it's World Unity Week. I'm going to have Kaylin bring some slides up so that you can see what's happening. And I'm going to put some links in the chat. If you're interested in learning about World Unity Week, you can go to this one place, worldunityweek.org, and you can register right on there, and then they'll send you your happenings throughout the week and beyond. Is an opening ceremony. Today is going to be a full day on Zoom, but really worth it. Here's the to the Zoom. Everything on the ones for World Unity Week is with this same Zoom link. So the Zoom link I just put in the chat, if you grab that and stick it somewhere, and then you can always join in on the one stream. There is right after the opening ceremony today, there is a plenary with David Gershon, who we've adopted the 7 frequencies as the themes for World Unity Week. And tonight there will be an opening plenary where he will initiate a collective mission of 99 or peace on Earth by 2030, and inviting all of us to commit the next 7 years to peace on Earth by 2030. And tonight there will be an opening to the frequencies, and then every day following the Global Coherence Pulse, which is in the middle of the day, in the evening, we'll have the daily frequencies that will inform the next day. And so every day we're going to pulse the field with a different frequency. And I think it would be really fun if we did our 3 or more hums, and we did our silence. We pulse the frequency of the day into the field. We can all participate. And then, Kaylin, the Global Coherence Pulse is going to happen every day starting tomorrow. We will do a daily pulse. Each one will be 1 hour long. I'm bringing in some really fun guests and musicians as always. And we'll end every Global Coherence Pulse with a global silent minute. So maybe we'll do our humming and then a silent minute and pulse the field. And then the registration for the daily frequency meditations, which is different than the one room. I'm going to put that in the chat now. And then last but not least, I'm going to have Kaylin go to the connectionfield.net. So some of you know, in the past, we had the Islands of Coherence. We've had places where we're gathering the community. And we now have joined together Good of the Whole, Islands of Coherence, Unify, HeartMath, and other organizations are joining together for the Connection Field, where we can explore over the next 2 years, what does it take to collaborate at an organizational scale, an individual community scale, and have a community, media, and action play space where we can learn what it will take to synergize at the next level. And one thing I'll say, if you join the Global Coherence Pulse, it's free. You can just go right in, connectionfield.net, is that all of the links that I just put in the chat are in the connection field under the news and events. So you don't have to go looking and save them on the chat. In one place, you can go and find everything that you need to participate in World Unity Week, to participate in the 99 days, and to participate in helping us to grow this space, which is all of us coming together to create something greater than the sum of our parts. So join the connection field, and then you'll have all the links that you need there. So thank you, Kaylin. Thanks for doing the announcements for us. And let's come back with Andi and Jonathan. And if somebody would like to make a comment about their experience of humming, if you want to use the little tool to raise your hand, and we can hear from some of our friends. Carol, I'm feeling you. Can I call on you? Do you mind? Yes, I've been feeling you. Hello, beautiful. You're muted right now, and I think I have to ask you to unmute, and then you'll be able to do that. There you go.
Oh, that was so wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan, and thank you, Anna. It's I did your humming workshop, and just this raised it to a new level. So thank you, thank you. Ah, the world thanks you.
Oh, thank you, Carol.
Thank you, Carol. Who else would like to share something? How about Joelle? Yes, it's so funny. I can feel you guys. I'm going to invite you to unmute. Oops, I think you already did. There we go. Has to unmute. There we go. Hello, beautiful. I could see your smile in the gallery view, and I could tell you really love doing the humming together too. Do you want to share some thoughts about your experience?
Yes, I have a few thank yous to do. First of all, thank you, Carol, for telling me about this millennia ago. I finally got around to coming. And thank you, obviously, for having me. And Jonathan and Andi, thank you for what you've just done there. I actually popped in the chat that whilst I was doing the humming, that I had my hands in this position. And it's safe to say I don't normally feel particularly much of a heartbeat, but it was as if I'd got a heart in my hands, and it was doing that in between the palms. It was, I didn't want it to stop. It was a lovely sensation, really beautiful. And I have to say thank you as well on behalf of my cat Monk. I don't know if you actually noticed him, but he got in on the act as well. And I was being definitely snuggled and stuff from him whilst doing the humming. It was slightly distracting, but appreciated. So thank you for that. It was a very interesting experience. I've done the chanting of Om before now and various other different things. And I am actually myself writing a book at the moment. So I will endeavour to include reference to the aspect of sound healing, if that's acceptable for you.
I'd love you to do that. Thank you, Joelle.
Was your cat purring during the phenomena?
I was wondering.
In tune as well. Lovely. Thank you so much.
Luke, I brought you up, Luke. Nice to see you.
You heard me coming.
Always events, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I've been using the Hot Coherence feedback app for a few years, and while we were doing the humming, I was just touching the curves. It was just like perfect, like in the books. So I had the best heart coherence graphs I've ever seen during the humming. So thanks to everybody participating, and thanks to Andi and Jonathan for the type of thing you think, why didn't I think of it before? Because, sound is good and, Om is good, but thank you for reminding us. I'm definitely going to hum a lot more throughout the day. Every time I feel going down, I'll hum it up.
Hum it up.
Thank you so much. Hum it up.
I love that. hum it up.
I
And
love
and we
that.
all created that today together.
And I just want to throw something in that I was reminded of from an experience long ago when I was sort of first introduced to the phenomena of heart-brain coherence and saw the waveform. And I was talking with Howard Martin. I said, Howard, the phenomena of heart-brain coherence and that really smooth wave is very much like what they call, a harmonic or sinusoidal wave. And I said, the phenomena that I observe when I see incoherence is what we call, in sound, the phenomena of noise. I said, would you perceive that perhaps incoherence is an aspect of noise? And he said, for sure. So I just wanted to give that to you as another metaphor to use. Most of the time, we're in a very, very noisy place. What a blessing to be able to bring harmony to ourselves, to our nervous system, and our vibratory field.
Mm. Luke, I love that it registered on the app, and you really got to see that coherent wave that happened during that. That was really great. Thank you for adding that.
Thank you.
Nice. Mary Lou, do you want to unmute? I brought you on again, another like beaming smile in the background, shaking your head, right?
Absolutely. This has been such an awesome experience. And it's so awesome that you actually tapped into my desire to ask a question on behalf of people that I love and care about and serve. So thank you so much for feeling into me with all of this gorgeous community and connection that's going on here. For me, from my personal experience, especially when we did that last bit about pulsing our own signature out into the field, that really up-leveled that vibration for me, where I was actually even bringing in words in my mind like compassion, community, co-creation, coherence, and just pulsing it out and pulsing it out. And it just really up-leveled this whole experience with this humming. So gosh, so much gratitude to yourselves, Andi and Jonathan, to everybody here. I mean, wow, right? We're just such a beautiful community. From a question point of view, if I may very quickly just ask, Andi, I was moved by what you said about being a psychotherapist and supporting people. That's my role in life, not psychotherapy, but I am a therapist and I work with a lot of trauma and overwhelm, nervous system overwhelm, dysregulation, etc. So on many levels, I work with nutrition, blah, blah, blah. But for this conversation, my brain immediately is going into how can I bring this work to my clients who are in so much distress, pretty much what you verbalized, but in a simple way, because people who are in overwhelm can't cope with too much. They need simple, quick, and wow. I mean, already my brain's thinking, well, just hum with him, hum with them, do 3 hums with them. But I would love your feedback on that. If you say, well, actually, this is a simple thing you can do to really bring such support to them in a way that they can take it to their worlds and own it and use it in a way that's manageable to support their nervous system.
Oh, Mary Lou, thank you so much for this question. And actually, you touched on the answer because I would have said that definitely to have them experience the hum, because even doing breathing is very important, of course, and going through the protocols. Keep your your lips closed. How are you feeling right now in this moment? Take some nice deep breaths and let the body relax, and then have them do a series of 3 or 5 hums. It'll depend on the person and the moment. But once they experience that's the key, because then they get to feel, wait a minute, I do feel I feel less anxiety. I feel more relaxed. And also bringing it to their families. Children love to hum. It is a natural for them. And so that's something too that I would recommend when you're sharing this, with your clients. So I hope that was helpful.
Oh, so wonderful. I'm bringing in the children because I'm noticing more teenagers coming at me with self-harm. So bringing that in for them as well,
and they like to be silly. And sometimes humming can be, what, hum? How, but have them experience it. And you want to say something,
Real
Jonathan?
quick, just one of the cool things about the hum is that it's a lot quieter than the om And because of that, last night we met with some wondrous people in a restaurant. We wanted to bless the food before, but it was pretty crowded. And I said, hey, let's just hum so we don't disturb anybody. And we did. And I thought, well, this is just, once again, a wondrous phenomenon because we could resonate together with our consciousness, but not be too loud. So, what are you doing there? No, it was, and it was great.
And one of the things that I do want to share too with everyone is that it's like giving yourself an internal massage.
Yeah, right,
And
exactly,
so you're,
totally.
you're going into the body and really grounding in. So, yes.
Nice.
Thank you.
Well, Andre, I added you one last maybe sharing. Beautiful
Yes,
to
thank
see.
you.
And
Thank you.
yeah.
When during the meditation, I was reminded that this morning, when I sat for meditation, it came back to my mind that I had a prayer for the earth. May Mother Earth, who was once, it's a Vedic prayer anyway, and I wrote it down like a few months ago. And it came back as we were doing the meditation that it was like a bridge, a connection with, like, that prayer has been so dear to my heart. And here we had the opportunity to hold the earth, and the prayer made so much. It's like it became material. I don't know how to express it anyway, but in any other way. But I'm very, very deeply grateful. Thank you so much.
Andre,
thank you
for sharing that. That was so beautiful. Thank you.
Wow. What a beautiful field today. I'm going to carry you all with me. I feel your hums in my body now. So nice. And I'm going to just go back to the two of you and see if you have any closing words you'd like to share with the community today before we close out.
Should we do the invocation?
Okay, we're going to do two things.
Two things, yeah.
The first is an invocation to a being that we work with, the angel of sacred sound. And we always like to encode this further. These are all different things. People use different invocations. We're going to share this with you. We'll just do it together. And then we'll end with the last statement. Shall we begin?
Yes. So we invoke the spirit of Shamael, angel of sacred sound. May the sound of light surround us. May the light of sound guide us. May sacred sound come through us for the harmony of all.
And lastly?
And the second.
And lastly, we heal ourselves.
We heal the planet.
We heal the planet.
We heal ourselves. We have a choice, and we can make a difference.
And just thank you so much, Teresa, and thank you to every single person who was here. We just send our love and our blessings and our sound to everyone, and we are grateful.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, and please join us in the connection field. Join us during World Unity Week. We have 7 days to just keep building the frequency of the field that we started today with the quality of our own hum. I love it. Blessings, everyone. Have a lovely day. Yay. Bring this energy out to everybody you touch today.